Okay, Paul Richards here with PTZOptics, and my co-host is on his way. We are a PTZ camera manufacturer, and our cameras have HD SDI, HDMI, USB 3.0, and IP streaming. My co-host Patrick Kirby is on his way. He is coming up, and we talk technology every Friday. So every Friday we have this this webinar, and Patrick Kirby's your host.
Yeah, nice to see everybody today.
And today we've got something a little interesting, a little different. We've got a Twitter feed. So we're using vMix. We've told a lot of people, we're very open about that. We're using vMix for our live streaming to YouTube Live, and they have a free app called vMix Social. And what it allows you to do is connect to your social media site and actually show rotating, live hashtags. You can do a Twitter handle. You can actually just search Twitter for keywords and then have them rotate during your live stream. So something we wanted to show off. It's not like we're like getting bombarded by Twitter right now.
No, yeah,
or ever.
We're picking up. We're trying to pick up the Twitter game, but it's a popular application. You see it all the time with ESPN, talk shows. It's definitely a popular feature. And I know we talked about Twitter. Do they have other integrations?
They do. So they actually have Twitter and Facebook. Let me just see here. I have it running here. Twitter, Facebook, something called IRC. I'm not even sure what that is. I'm sure it's something important.
It's probably huge in some
other countries. Yeah. They are an Australian company.
Yeah.
So we're going to show off today is our big wireless HDMI day. So we're going to be showing off wireless HDMI, which is pretty cool. Oops. Just hit ourselves. Trying to show off our cool new little logo that loops at the bottom. So we got some cool new stuff. We're always trying new things, making sure things are cool. So we've got this like little rotating logo there at the bottom. Pause it when it gets to a good spot. We're just doing a live stream. It's also a video conference, so from time to time, some of our viewers will actually join the live stream. And that's kind of one of the innovative things that we do here that you don't see in most live broadcasts is the ability to just anyone go ahead, join the live stream, join the webinar. So that's kind of cool.
Yep. And, we try and keep it practical and come up with some applications. And I was just thinking, town halls, this is a good application for live streaming, right? So if people, you can join the meeting and then stream it out to, people in the town, community, whatever. And even streaming roundtables, right? So many times, they have professionals come on for different reasons, and people might want to do this or, join that. And it's just a good way to stream, a more of a conference-like scenario.
Yeah, and I just went ahead and joined the live stream with my laptop here. Therefore, I can actually share my screen and join as a participant. So sometimes we have customers who join our live stream, have something they want to show us at their town hall or their conference room or their boardroom, and we can actually address those issues right over this live stream, right during a video conference call. So feel free to join. It's definitely something where we have a lot of people, a lot of interaction. So one of the first things I wanted to do today was I really did want to show how we are doing our live stream.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Matt, thanks for joining.
Hey, Matt, thanks for joining. Matt, you probably know this. We're gonna show off how we do our live stream. And where are you calling from? I think he's still getting his audio set up.
Yeah.
So let me share my screen. And I'm going to show how we do our live streaming here at PTZOptics.
You guys are on mute. Oh.
Oh, we are on mute.
We're on mute.
Good
okay,
point.
right. Once again, still learning.
Luckily, I think that the audio is still coming through
For the stream, yeah.
For the live stream, which we're recording.
Can you hear us now, Matt?
Let's make sure. I'm just going to show my vMix here. Yep, we do have the audio. So we're doing a live stream here. This is how we have it all set up. So we've got a basic video conferencing system with a PTZOptics USB connection, a wireless speakerphone. That's the HuddlePod Air. We've got a Intel NUC PC here, and then we've got Zoom video conferencing running on the NUC. So that in itself is a web video conferencing solution. But what we've done is we've taken the HDMI out and we've split it, and we've taken it into my laptop here, which we're using vMix. I'm sharing my screen in this. I'm going to show vMix here. What we're doing is we actually have vMix live. So what vMix allows you to do is a lot of different things. Like for example, if I'm doing a live stream and I want to bring in my subscribe logo, you can see there we've got our YouTube subscribe button. I was showing our Twitter feed earlier. All I have to do is hit this button right here, and our Twitter feed pops up on our live stream.
So, yeah, feel free to tweet us.
Feel free to tweet us. You know, we're happy to have you tweet.
We love tweeting.
And this is the vMix interface. We have had some people ask about how vMix works and all of that. On the left-hand side, you're seeing what's queued up. So if I wanted to just show this, I could basically fade over to that. I don't really want to do that, so I'm not going to. But let's go back. Anyway, we'll do, I guess, another video on vMix itself. But it's very easy. All of your video and audio are down here, and then the left-hand side is what's you're queuing up, and then the right-hand side is what's streaming live.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a pretty comprehensive software-based broadcast platform. So it's like a switcher,
live
a mixer,
broadcasting, switching,
and it does everything. It's nice because it does things like cameras and actual live shots, but you also get content in there, right? So if we had a separate media file or of some sort, then we could bring that in as well.
Which we've kind of showed off here a little bit with the Twitter and the subscribe and all of that. So there are some really real live applications. If you do a lot of live streaming, it's nice to just make it a little sexier, make it cool. We're in 2016 almost now. Yeah. People are expecting this kind of stuff. So today is our wireless. We're doing wireless HDMI. So that's what we're talking about today. So we're going to look at the the PTZOptics wireless HDMI kit that we have here. So let's go ahead and zoom in on that. We're using a PTZOptics right now. It's kind of gives you an idea of the clarity. And Pat's going to go ahead and open the box. So obviously the camera is part of the SKU. Yeah. And then it comes with this wireless HDMI receiver.
A nice little have-a-vision piece.
And a quarter 90-degree angle HDMI adapter here. So as you can see, that would just plug into the bottom here like that. And let's zoom in on that. And Pat, you're showing off the wireless HDMI. So tell us about this wireless HDMI adapter here.
This is the receiver, right? Okay. So this goes down by your input. So you know whether it's a TV, another mixer, or something like that.
Looks like this has a quarter 20 on the bottom. So you can, and it comes with a little wall mount. So you do want to have line of sight if possible. So what this will allow you to do is kind of wall mount it, and once it's wall mounted, you can kind of angle it to get the best signal. It's really, really powerful though, and up to 85 feet away with zero latency, full HDMI. You don't have to take off all the cellophane and everything, but as you can see, HDMI coming out the bottom here, right there. And that's it. So this is wireless HDMI receiver, and that's the transmitter,
this is
right?
The transmitter, yep. You can see it just has a little cap here, right? So you got your HDMI. It is powered over USB.
Let's plug that into the camera.
Little
so
USB.
How that works.
Right. So basically, because we have the HDMI out on all the PTZOptics lines, just kind of plug it right in here.
Yeah,
should be good.
Just like that.
And now you have a camera that can be a wireless HDMI output. Right. Next,
it's got the ability to do just a little bit of rotation. Not that you need it. It's really just this is a 90 degree, so you can have it go back out, or keep it nice and tight for those wall mounting installations where the camera's tight up against the wall.
Yeah, it's going to be different scenarios where you might not have the space behind the camera, so it's a nice little way to get it.
In here is one of the cool things that we really like. What this is this is our actual switching, live HDMI switching remote control. I'm going to have to take it out of this little cellophane thing so people can get a good look at it. The cool thing about this is that what we can do here is we can actually switch between 3 input devices. So this syncs up to the receiver. So if you've got 3 PTZOptics cameras out there, then you can actually switch between all 3 of them. So if you've got one HDMI input on your streaming device or your switcher or your television, whatever you're using, you can use this to just change what the receiver is receiving and go ahead and there's an on-screen display menu and you can walk through that with this remote.
Yep. And here is and then you, in the rest of the box, you basically have a couple power. This is just a power supply, 5-volt power supply for the
receiver.
Yeah, for the receiver.
And then the transmitter is powered by this is an IR. This is an IR extender that comes with it.
A nice simple IR extender.
Just in case, because it does have a remote control. In case you have it like behind a display or something, you can sneak that IR past the display. HDMI cable.
Right,
looks like it's about 6 foot.
Standard HDMI cable.
And then this is the important part here. So this is a USB 2.0 cable. This powers the transmitter. So as you can see on this side, there's a mini USB connection there, right here. So that would plug into this mini, and then this USB 2 actually plugs into the USB 2 here on the camera to power this device.
Right, and that is why we grabbed the PTZOptics SDI model, in particular, right? Because it does have that USB 2.0 port there that actually will power the device.
If you have the USB version, it doesn't have a USB 2.0 port, so you will need to power it with the supplied USB 2.0 cable and a USB 2.0 power adapter, which you can get on Amazon, all these different places. In fact, we're going to, if you buy the PTZOptics HDMI kit in the USB model, we will include a USB power supply.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, you're going to need 1 power for the camera, 1 power for the transmitter at the camera end, if you're using the USB model.
Yeah. Pretty straightforward. I'm trying to think.
That's pretty much it. Greg has a question. Sure, shoot, Greg. How's it going? He likes the Zoom interface. The question on the wireless latency. So the reason why we chose this is for the low latency. From what we're told, it's less than a millisecond, so it's like less than 1/10 of a second
compared to wired. Wow.
Compared to wired, and from what wired should be 0 latency, but even most cameras are going to give you anywhere from 1 to 5 frames per second of latency, regardless.
Okay. It's like a 1/7 of a second or something like that.
Yeah. So there are times when pretty much any camera, whether it's Sony or Panasonic, you're going to still get 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5, even 5 frames. You're not even going to notice it, but it's going to be a little latency there. Yeah. So this ends up being just so minimal amount of latency that you can still do live video conferencing. And then for broadcast, there's even a little bit more leeway there, because a lot of times you're doing different shots, and but still, it's very low latency. What happens, one of the things we should talk about is basically the farther that this receiver is from the transmitter, so the farther it gets away, up to 85 feet, it'll be 1080p, right? 1080p, 30 frames a second. If you take it 100 feet, it's not going to stop working. It's going to go down to 720p. And you take it 150 feet, you might be getting down to like standard def.
Yeah.
And then it'll start dropping frames. And then finally it'll start to black out when maybe you're 150 feet away in between a brick wall. It'll black out. Yeah. So it really depends on how close you are to the receiver. If you're in the room next door and it's just drywall, you can blast right through that wall. But if you're in a large auditorium and you're 80 feet away, you're going to want line of sight to keep that 1080p, 30 frames a second, very minimal, zero latency connection. So just want to be very clear about that. Our engineers are very, they're very interested in telling what the product can't do, as opposed to us in sales. We're always talking about what the product can do. So we do have a lot of information on our knowledge base talking about the limitations to wireless. And this particular technology is called WiDi. Definitely take a look at it. It's going to be a new standard. A lot of people don't know about this yet, but WiDi is probably the next technology for low latency HDMI.
Yep.
So go ahead and shoot. So what is your bandwidth today in this broadcast? That's a great question, and I can actually show some statistics on the latest Zoom client. The latest Zoom client has an ability, video settings, here it is, statistics. So what I can do is I can actually pull up the statistics for this Zoom call. So if I share my screen, I've got vMix running in the background, but you can see right here I've got this statistic for let's see if I can move this, for our bandwidth. So it's very minimal when you're doing Zoom. Now, this is not the full story because we're doing two things right here.
Yeah, we are. We're
got
uploading to YouTube.
We've got video conferencing going and we've got live streaming going at the same time. But we're splitting it up between two computers. Mm-hmm. So maybe a luxury not everybody has, but we end up having that luxury here. So you can see here that Zoom is using about 6% of my computer's overall power. And at the bottom here you can see that vMix is using about 8%. So between those two, we're about 16, maybe 15%. And overall, it looks like I'm hovering anywhere from 40 to 50% of my overall CPU usage. And then over here, it looks like the bandwidth that I'm sending is only 65 KB and receiving 42. Now, that sounds ridiculously low. That's because my laptop is connected to this Zoom call, but it has nothing, it's not sending any video.
Yeah.
So it's not sending any video or audio. It's just joining the call. It's just receiving. And that's ridiculously low.
Yeah.
Like 50K, that's like what a modem used to be able to do.
And
so let's take a look. And then there's also like latency stuff here, jitter, packet loss. But let's take a look at our other PC over here. And let's see what the video settings are over here on our computer that's doing the live broadcast. See, now over here, you guys might not be able to see this, but our live streaming audience can see this. We're doing 700 KB sending and only 9 receiving. So it sounds like Zoom's doing a great job of compressing everything down before it gets sent to everybody else. And from what I know about Zoom and bandwidth, and of course we haven't talked about the broadcast side, but for the video conferencing side, Zoom utilizes your PC processing power to crunch everything down before it sends it to the world, to the cloud. So the nice thing about that is your bandwidth consumption is very low. The flip side is you do need somewhat of a good computer, but honestly, with today's processing power, everyone's got a pretty good computer.
Standard, a lot of standard computers come quad core these days and stuff like that.
I mean, you can use an iPad to do this kind of stuff, so it's not like you need something crazy.
Nope. And, pretty good. And we don't have it. We're not doing anything crazy. Obviously, we're hardwired for the broadcast, as well as the Zoom call, just a standard business line. You know, we don't have any crazy, terabyte
In fact,
coming into the.
It even says here we've got 23 milliseconds of latency, and then
28 milliseconds.
yeah, that's not bad at all.
No.
The resolution of Zoom, which is the video conferencing side, is 720p. And one of the things that's pretty amazing about the 720p video that they do is that I've had video conferences with people in Australia. Of course, I had one with Australia last night. China. We have people joining from South Africa, Costa Rica, all kinds of people out there. And the good thing about it is that sometimes there's a blip, right? Sometimes there's a network blip. Maybe it's not on our side. Maybe it's on the far side. Maybe it's in South Africa. There's blips from time to time.
There's always something.
And what Zoom will do, which is surprising, and I have never seen Skype do this or any of the others, is it will let the it'll do its best to basically keep the audio to catch up. So it will drop. Instead of just having a whole bunch of words stumble over, which I've heard before, that are like 2 or 3 seconds late, it'll just cut it off and get you right back to that, real-time communication. And my engineers, Joe and Matt, have been really impressed by the way that it handles, network blips and getting you back to, a real-time communication that's, normally it's 99.9% of the time.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, Zoom.us has been a favorite of ours. It really is a nice communication platform.
So, since you guys are asking about the bandwidth and the resolution and everything, let's go ahead and show the live stream. And I see the question. We are using the PTZOptics 12x USB, which is usually our preferred camera over here. As you can see over here, this is my vMix streaming settings here. I'm streaming in 720p at 30 frames a second, and I'm streaming to YouTube Live. And I want to show that really quickly because I think it's kind of fun to show this part of it. This is the back end of YouTube. And looks like we got to get rid of this and this for our live streamers. We've been streaming for 22 minutes. It's a good stream. It's 720p. We haven't had any issues. And this is just, if anyone has ever used YouTube, this is it. I mean, it's that simple. I'm not going to stray away from this page right here, but we basically started our live stream. We got a preview of it. And, as soon as we started it, it just starts live here. And then the nice thing about, now this is similar to a lot of live streaming CDNs, you have the ability to put it on your website. So we tried this before. I think it'll be okay because the audio is muted. That's our live stream right there. We're watching our live stream. It's probably going to look a little trippy so I probably shouldn't do this for that long. But basically, that's our live stream. It's embedded into our website. We've used a WordPress site here to just host it, and that's YouTube Live. It's absolutely free.
Do you want to pause it? Video? I mean the live stream.
Yeah. Let's we're gonna go ahead and finish up the live stream. So. Thank you guys for watching. If anyone wants to stay on later for questions, feel free. But we talked about our wireless HDMI. We talked about what we're doing, the live streaming. We answered our questions.
PTZOptics, in a couple applications might be, scenarios where you can't run wires. Even maybe mobile, right? So mobile device, mobile broadcast scenarios, right? Where you can set up a couple Pantel Zoom cameras, and you don't have to run wires for people at concerts or whatever. You would just need power, right? Because with the SDI model in particular, you can power this USB transmitter right off the camera itself. So it's a very simple setup, and then you have your receiver, right at your your mixer or your inputs and ready to go.
Yep, we'll just do a final Twitter feed here. Again, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel to learn more about how we do all this. Tweet us at PTZOptics. We've got our Twitter feed here down at the bottom. If you tweet us during a live show, that will show up there. So feel free to give us a tweet. And
love tweets.
We love tweets, so thank you for participating in that. And that's our show. So thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody.
Have a good one.